I'm gonna give you some of the best exercises that you can utilize with a band to improve your overall speed, and we're gonna start right now. What's up, everybody? It's Dane Miller from GarageStrength.com. Make sure that you like, you subscribe, smash that notification bell so we can help you become a beast. Okay, so when we're focusing on sprint-based training or on speed-based training, and we're talking about band work, we've got to think about, okay, what's the muscular actions that we're looking for? We want to see the speed of the muscular action, so there's going to be some movements that are going to be extremely rapid because we want to train our nervous system to fire extremely quickly so it recruits really, really well so that we can actually understand how to apply this onto the field or onto the track, whatever we're training for. The other aspect that we want to look for is there might be some unilateral work or there might be some bilateral work where we actually get to a position where there's an isometric muscular action, and this could in turn improve our overall dynamic trunk control, also improve our technique. Okay, so we've got to think about when we're using bands, there's going to be some more tension as we lengthen the band. As the band elongates, there's going to be more tension, which is going to help our overall coordination and our overall mind-muscle connection, which is going to help lead to a greater transfer and improve our technique. We're also looking for the high rate of muscular action that's going to lead to that overall speed. So we've got to think about those two key concepts as we're going through these exercises. Okay, so the first exercise that we're going to utilize is a banded sprinter start, and this is going to be something that you can utilize for football players, for soccer players, for lacrosse players. This is something that sprinters can utilize, hence the name banded sprinter start. Now, we've got our HAF band right here. You can pick this up at the PowerLastic.com or at GarageStrength.com. You can click on the link down below to pick this up. This is heavy. Okay, this is how we're going to put this on. We've got an immovable object, hopefully, our plate tree right here. Okay, I like to wrap this through, then just put this through right here. That's going to lengthen this while there's still a tremendous amount of tension, okay? Now we might have to move this around. Let's play around with this so we can see. If this is in my right arm, I want to see my opposite leg, contralateral work, get up on the box. So I want to be here, okay? I'm actually going to move my mat a little bit. We'll see how this works. If I'm holding here with my arm, okay, pretend I'm running, I'm coming out of the sprint, out of the start. And ideally what I want to see is I want to see a connection from that plantar flexion into knee flexion, into hip extension, all the way into where I'm holding at the top. That's going to help spark up your trunk. It's going to help you be a little bit quicker. And on top of that, if you're a coach and you're watching this, you can use the banded sprinter start with an auditory cue. So now if you have a reaction problem, or you have a running back that's a little slow off the get up, or if you have a running back that might be a little bit slow, or a lineman that's a little bit slow right off the line, now give them that auditory cue to help them learn how to react a little bit faster, and that's where the banded sprinter start comes into play. I would utilize this once a week, but you can do 5 or 6 sets, 3 to 4 reps on each side. Okay, so the next exercise that we're going to utilize, we are utilizing our strength band, our PowerLastic strength band. Click on the link down below, head over to GarageStrength.com or PowerLastic.com. So what we're going to focus on with this is that we want to see a little bit more of an upright posture, okay? And we want to see a little bit of a squeeze in our hips into our lower abs, okay? That's one of the big focuses here, is that if we can control that position, we're going to be able to control our trunk at higher speed. We're going to be able to run quicker and handle all of that energy through our trunk. So what I want to see is, if I have this planted, right? Pretend I'm running at high speeds with this as my grounding force here, and I want to come through and hold. And myself, I start to rotate really, really bad. I was a shot putter for what, 10 or 12 years, so everything I do is rotating this way when I was a thrower, and I still have a little bit of that imbalance when I'm doing things like this with my left leg down and bringing that up, okay? So I'm gonna come up and I wanna hold. Ooh. Oh, ideally I would hold a little bit longer. And what's cool is that as you're doing this, and you want to squeeze and feel your abs here, you're going to feel your trunk all throughout your hips and through your abs on this side, while your hamstring is holding in position. So we want to have that full grounded position on our right side, and you're going to notice your hamstring. So this is a really good tool that you can utilize to teach higher speed mechanics for sprinting, for running, when you're out on the field, whatever it is that you're doing, that coaches can utilize this and really trigger, hey, this is how you want to run at that top end speed. We want to see good control on that left side, on that hip flexion, on the end into the abs, while at the same time you're going to feel a little bit on the hamstring on the downside. So I think you can do this movement 2 or 3 times a week because you can use it as a drill to improve technique, and then you can play around with that isometric action, and that can actually lead to a little bit more strength gain as well. So it's a really unique exercise. It's simple to do. One key tip too, if you notice on the band, these bands are so versatile that I can put my foot in here, and if I wanted, if I didn't have something as unique as this GHD here, right, I could take this off, turn this around, put this through there, so if I'm at a park or something, I could wrap that around, and then all I have to do is take the handles, put the handles in. Now I have the handles where I can go here, okay? So you can use both ends. You can use just the handles or the actual loop itself, and it makes it a little bit easier so that if you don't have something like this, if you're at a park, you're around a tree, whatever it is that you're going to be utilizing, you can still improve your overall speed. Now, again, I'm going to do this without a warm-up. I'm going to utilize our strength band, and what we're going to do is we're going to do some unilateral work, and this is going to transfer one to a starting position. So if we're a running back, if we're an offensive lineman, if we're a defensive lineman, if we're a soccer player, if we're in a unilateral position, this exercise is going to help that. Okay, sprinters, everybody. Now the key here is that I'm going to utilize an exercise, okay, where we're going to target from a unilateral perspective and then a rapid reaction once we touch our knee, and we're going to come up and hold that hip lock with the snatch position. I'm hoping I can do this because this is our strength band. It's a little bit heavier tension. Hoping I can actually execute this properly. And we've done this in the past on some of our videos where we get to a pressing hip lock. So if you notice, this is going to be a little bit more posterior chain while still targeting our quads. That's what makes this very unique. So we're going to get down, okay? I want flexion in my down knee, okay? And right here, we're going to come down. Could back up a little bit. This is where we're going to start, come up and come through here, back down. Now, one of the unique things, if you saw that, the band might climb up here on the actual squat rack. If I don't have a squat rack, if I'm using a tree or there's something with a notch, that's okay. Now we're going to come down, touch, boom, hold. And we're gonna really feel as we come through. This hip lock here is gonna help with that dynamic trunk control and then that reaction. And as we get a little bit more warmed up, we might do a little touch and go where we go boom, okay? And what happens is that if you have someone that's really dominant towards one side, as they get to the other side, the weaker side, they're gonna start to fall all over the place. So when you see that as a coach or as an athlete, if you feel that, make sure that you train that side first. These are movements that you can do once a week as a warm-up. Maybe you do 2 or 3 sets with our mobility band, and then once a week you start to use the strength band, and that actually is where we're going to focus on improving our overall strength, our overall speed of contraction. You can use the mobility band for this movement, you know, banded skater squat into that snatch hip lock. You can use the mobility band for technique. You can use the strength band for that strength aspect, that speed and reaction aspect. That's gonna help you run a lot faster. Okay, now remember in the intro, we talked about what are those 2 key things? We wanna focus on the speed of the muscular action or on technique. So most of the movements that we focused on typically have been a little bit of both, especially the banded sprinter start. There's going to be a little bit of that rapid muscular action, but there's also some technique involved. Same thing with the banded skater squat into that hip lock. Now, this is just going to be a straight up muscular action movement. I think this is important to teach athletes how to absorb a little bit more energy, explode very rapidly, and do that again rapidly. Okay, this is going to help with our vertical jump. This is going to help with that first step. This is going to help with our reaction time. Okay, so what I like to do is, if you see on our PowerLastic, if you see on these bands, we have these handles. Okay, so what the key thing that we have to do is we put that right around our feet. And this is a movement that I stole directly from Tom Walsh, who's a world champion shot putter. He's one of the fastest shot putters known to man, one of the fastest athletes in the world. I stole this directly from him at the 2019 World Championships in Doha. What I saw Tom doing when he was warming up was focusing on his rapid muscular actions. So what we're going to do here, now we're going to wrap this around our neck, okay? So the key here is we want to get to about a quarter squat. So when we get to about a quarter squat, we're going to have a little bit of that tension pull out of the band. Then as we're going to jump, we're going to extend up. And then as we land, we're going to come back into that quarter squat and react a little bit faster. So we're here. And so this is a movement that you can utilize to potentiate other exercises. You can do this for 3 to 4 jumps, rest for 30 seconds, go into single leg bounds. So we're using a bilateral perspective that you can then potentiate unilaterally. So it's a very, very easy exercise. And because of the way we have our handles, it's easy to wrap around your feet. You can do this in a park, you can do this at your house. And if you're on a plyometric day or an athlete day, as we refer to them, you can do this, rest 30 seconds, go into hurdle hops, go into Stephen Holm hurdle hops, go into unilateral single leg bounds, anything along those lines. This is going to help train your nervous system to fire extremely fast. So do this about once a week, maybe twice, but make sure there's about 3 days in between each time that you do this. 5-6 sets, 3 to 5 reps, and you're gonna see a drastic improvement in your overall reaction time. So if you need help with your overall programming to get faster, we've got How to Get Faster strength training program. You can click on the link down below, head over to GarageStrength.com, and if you need these bands, you can go to PowerLastics.com or GarageStrength.com. You can pick up our strength training band, our mobility band, or our HAF band. They're available today. If you want more content around speed-based training, click on this card right here. Until next time, guys, peace.